and how sandalwood was used to purchase guns. So all this, it's I think if you give me opportunity next time, I'll talk about sandalwood. So today I'll stick to biodiversity. And as you said, yes, maybe my first posting that was in Bhamragad. When I joined the Forest Service in '93 January, and I'm being a forest, I'm a BSc Forestry graduate. So I thought, okay, I'll work in Forest Department. Yes, I was selected for Forest Department, but when I got my first posting, that was in Dhule. And when I got down I didn't know where Dhule was. So I was seeing the map of Maharashtra, and I could not find Dhule, because I never thought that Dhule is in the extreme western part. I was just up to Jalgaon at least, but I didn't go beyond Jalgaon because I had to catch a train. And there was one train called Karnataka Express. Then somebody told that there's a train, you can get on at Jalgaon. And when Malegaon was hearing, somebody told, why do you want to go to Jalgaon? Jalgaon is another 2 hours from Malegaon, not Malegaon, Manmad. So you can get out at Manmad. It was around 4 o'clock. I got down, then got the Maharashtra State Road Transport, SRTC. Because those days there was no STD and all. As you said, what was the condition? So I could not call the division office in Dhule that I am coming and please send the vehicle. So I could not call. So I got down there and got into our, Asiad. So I got into Asiad by maybe 1.5 hours. I reached Dhule. And while going from Manmad to Dhule, I could not see any forest. I was wondering, I am selected for Forest Service and I don't see any forest here. What is this? Why did I write the exam? I reached and then I got a good boss. He was from Satara and now he's like my elder brother. And then from there I had my first posting in a place called Navapur. So then I got some relief because that Navapur is where the Western Ghat ends. Western Ghat starts from south and it ends in near Surat. There is a place called Dangs. Dangs is Gujarat, then Navapur is Maharashtra. There is some good forest. And then after my training, I had a lot of interest in wildlife. I know in academy also I was assistant secretary wildlife, go to bird watching and all those wildlife related activities. So when I got posted in Dhule, and there was a time when we get our promotion and postings, I was posted to this Bhamragad. Okay, Bhamragad I was happy because it is famous for forest. But then when I saw it was project officer and additional collector tribal development, 99% of my seniors they don't join. अरे ये कोई पोस्टिंग है क्या? हमारे यहाँ पे है ना कुछ थोड़े they will be wondering कि साहब हमारे डिपार्टमेंट में कैसे आ गए? तो 99% people told me don't join. तुमको तो फॉरेस्ट में काम करना चाहिए. Only one person I had Dr. What's his name? So he was of 64 batch. Imagine 1964 batch IFS. Gandle sahab. So Gandle sahab nahi to you go. It will be a good opportunity for you. You can work with people. So that was my turning point in my life. That because I wanted to become a wildlifer, but I didn't become a wildlifer. And I am more of a people call me more of an NGO, a social worker. So when my Mr. Gandle told you join, so immediately after 3-4 days I packed up. Packed up means कितना रहता है सामान, छोटा सा एक मेटाडोर में भी नहीं था सामान. So went to a place called Allapalli, must have heard of Allapalli. And we came down, got down here at around 3:30 at Vidarbha Express, I think from Chalisgaon. And my wife was wondering, both of us are from Bangalore. And my wife was telling me, अभी आ गया क्या? मेरे को भी नहीं मालूम कितना दूर है अल्लापल्ली से. It is 280 kilometers from Allapalli. And my wife every 1 hour आ गया क्या? पहुँच गए क्या? और कितना दूर है? और कितना दूर है? We reached around in the evening around 6:37. And we see that guest house all insects, and he was telling कहाँ लेकर आ गए? All biodiversity, all insects were seen. And first day she started crying कि कहाँ लेकर आ गए? And last day I stayed there for 4 years. One of the best tenure in my life. I enjoyed. Of course, we had our teachers, the headmasters are there behind you, and they were in a place called Jara. And how to communicate? No telephones. So we used to send messages through wireless to police. They were not allowing others. They were saying this is wireless is for our this Naxalite operations and all. We will not allow. But then we informed our seniors that permit us to use a wireless. So we used to send them messages through wireless. बराबर है ना? So they used to get the message through wireless, and that's how that was life. And 4 years after when I got transferred from there after 4 years, again my wife started crying. I was wondering why she's crying. I thought my daughter must have chimney, na? मतलब उसने कुछ चिट्ठी मार दिया होगा, नहीं नहीं, are we leaving this place? Again, because such a beautiful place, lot of biodiversity, and we had, almost, we were loving this place. But as usual, any government posting will get transferred. So that is where my whole thing changed. That we should use the resource, whatever we are doing, conservation or protection or development, it is for ultimately for the people. So that is where my whole thing approach is pro people. You can, you can come in the office also. I have arguments with my colleagues. I tell them at the end of the day for whom you are doing all these things. So ultimately, and people, it's a livelihood issues. So with that, I will begin my presentation. Presently, I am holding additional charge of Maharashtra State Bamboo Biodiversity Board. This is a statutory body, and in the year 1992, there was a conference in Rio de Janeiro, and there it was decided that we should have, I'll go to the slides. So we had the first, Biological Diversity Act. Imagine after 92, the act was, after a lot of deliberations, the act was enacted in the year 2002 in India. And of course, any act without rules, it is a toothless. So we had these rules, biological diversity rules in 2004. And of course, what is the objective of that? There are three objectives, I'll tell you about that. So this is People's Biodiversity Register, so which we prepare for every village. So basically, the main aim of the Biological Diversity Act was that to access biological resources. The background is that nobody knows the background. The north and the south, north means America and all these countries, they didn't have access to our resources, biological resources. If anybody takes any resource, it used to become biopiracy. You must have heard of this term, which has reduced now. But then how to take it officially? This is what one of the professors from IIM told me. He attended this the general conference, and how to legalize it. So there it was decided that this resource, what is the procedure for access of this biological resource? So they came out with three concepts called conservation of resources, then access benefit sharing, and the third one is every country has sovereign rights over its resources. So it was told, yes, you have right over your resources, but you also share with us. That is nothing but access benefit sharing, which now we have taken it a different way. We think that access benefit is sharing with the people. Obviously, they were staying there for years together, they were using the resource. That was not the agenda. The agenda was the North wanted the biological resource. The how to legally get it, so this act came into existence, which nobody will discuss about that. That is the agenda behind that. So you share with us. You have the right over your resource, but you also share, because most of the pharmaceutical companies, they have depend on these resources, biological resources. I will give an example. When I was in the US, in New York, as a part of that public policy program, IIM Bangalore, so we were given that you compare two countries' policies. So I had taken about intellectual property rights. I was comparing Brazil and India. India, it was not much developed because we were much behind. And in Brazil, the Merck pharmaceutical Merck company, what they do, they engage a botanist. And they go and study with the people, they sit there, they do the, they have a discussion with the local community, and they will come to know that which plant is used for which disease. So their R&D, suppose normal R&D will take 2 years to come out with the drug formulation. Now when they sit with the people, they know for fever what is the plant, for different diseases. Now they have saved 1 year. They take that plant, then they, the active compound, they take it out, and then prepare the drug. And a part of their profits, they share with the community. That is what the big companies are doing in US. But that is not happening in our country. So I think it is high time. Maybe I will make my efforts to talk with companies so that they can share that with the people. So that was actually the access benefit sharing. It is coming now. We get around 2% of their sales and all, but not what the US is doing. So the first one is access to biological resources or traditional knowledge. For what purpose? Either for research or for biosurvey or for biotechnology for research. This is non-commercial. So there is also commercial part. If anybody wants to do research, they can take permission from the board we give permission for non-commercial purpose. And if it's a commercial purpose, then ABS, that is called access benefit sharing. It is 0.1%, 0.2 and 0.5. Like that they have fixed the rates. So that much amount it goes back to the community. So what is this year's agenda? This year's agenda is be part of the plan. That is, what is that plan? This is the plan. This is a brief introduction. As I told you in 1992, there was a discussion on sustainable development. And one was, the important agreement was Convention on Biological Diversity. The discussion was on sustainable development. But in one of the key agreement was that there should be some agreement on biological diversity. So the diversity, as I told you, conservation of biological diversity, sustainable use, fair and equitable sharing. What is this fair and equitable? Because you share with us also. So I know many of you, there's a word called hermeneutics. So that hermeneutics we go through. What is the hidden agenda behind this? This is basically the hidden agenda. So this was, signed in the year 1993. Same thing as I told you, conservation of diversity, then sustainable use and equitable sharing of resources. So this year's agenda is be part of the plan. What is the plan? It is an action for all the stakeholders to halt and reverse the loss of biodiversity. So they had this coming Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework, which I think day before yesterday in Nairobi, they had a discussion on this framework. And what does it do? It offers cooperation and partnerships among diverse sectors. Look at the words used. I know it is a talk we give, but I think the audience, because all are intellectuals, they should understand how beautifully the international agreements are crafted. So what is that? Cooperation and partnership. Cooperation between whom? The north and the south. And the partnership. Because their diversity is very less biodiversity. And we have a lot of diversity. So this is the the plan of us. Then who are involved in this? Who are the stakeholders? Like we have here, stakeholders. Who are they? Governments, indigenous peoples, local communities, non-government organizations, lawmakers, businesses and individuals. So they are encouraged to highlight the ways in which they are supporting the plan implementation. So they have not left anyone. Everybody is included in this. So we think that biological diversity means only biology people or the animal sciences and nothing like that. Everybody is included in this year's agenda. This was what happened day before yesterday at Nairobi. So he is the National Biodiversity Authority Chairman. Like we have the State Biodiversity Member Secretary. He is an IFS officer, Reddy, even chairing SBI board. So there was a talk on this also. I don't know whether this is working. प्रेस करता है कंप्यूटर से you can see this on the portal. No, madam. Next. That will take time. Take time. Hyperlink. Hyperlink. ठीक है डाल देना you can see this on the internet. I will go to the next slide. So this is what they had a discussion yesterday, day before yesterday. And the whole speech is there on the website, you can go to that. Yeah, coming to this, what is the present situation? As per IUCN, International Union for Conservation of Nature, they have prepared a list. There are 150,300 species on the red list. Look at the red list prepared by IUCN. And what is that? The most endangered amphibians, especially the frogs, 41% is under red list. Then comes the sharks and rays, 37%. Then you have corals, 36%, 40%. 34%. Why 40%? Because they are at high altitude, the melting of snow, the tree line is increasing, So all those factors. Then you have mammals. These are only 27%. Then the birds. These are major, and how do they do it? They have this classification. Least concern, LC. There's nothing to worry about there. Then you have the threatened, vulnerable, endangered, critical. Then this is extinct. So we have, what are the threats? The threat may be due to species endangered by agriculture. There are 3 pages report. These are three pages. And species endangered by climate change. The whole thing is given. There are 27 subcategories. So this also you can, the detailed list. If anybody is interested, can go to the IUCN website. This is IUCN website. So you get all details. See, the species endangered by fire, then by grazing, then trade, mining, logging, invasive species, human consumption. Because you must have heard of Kuchi mushroom. Kuchi mushroom is very common, 30,000 rupees per kg. It's found in high altitudes, Himalayas. So, and that is only found in forest. You cannot grow it in, artificially. So that is also threatened. So these are the different species endangered by tourism. And which are the animals that are extinct? American cheetah. Everybody must have heard of dodo. Isn't it? The dodo is extinct. And these are ice age animals. Then these are all the lists. See this Tasmanian tiger. It was extinct in 1935. The last single animal existed in Tasmania, in the zoo. That was the last surviving animal. It's no more. But they have to, using the modern techniques, they want to bring it back. Recently they have recovered RNA of Tasmanian tiger, and they want to in the lab, they want to develop embryo, and all those research is going on now. So using the modern tools, how to bring back the lost species. All may not be possible. Then of course there is Java tiger. Yeah. This is a tiger called Java tiger. This is no more. This is extinct. There were 6 or 7 species of tiger. One of them is extinct now. So India's list, which was released in the year 2018, the previous list, you can see there were 132 species of plants and animals, which has increased to 950 species, which are threatened, which are critically endangered or vulnerable or critically endangered. So coming to now what is biodiversity, I did not have to tell, it's just nothing but it is variety of life forms on the planet, very simple definition. What is that? It includes plants, animals, etc. And how it is that? It is measured by number of species. And then assessing the genetic diversity. So within a species you may have a lot of diversity. And finally by distribution of the species. It may be endemic, it may be found every sporadic, and may be found everywhere. So these is the types of biodiversity. You have a genetic diversity, for example rice. There are many varieties of rices, right from basmati to the wild rice, and then the species diversity. So for example tigers, you have Javan. Javan is no more, Siberian. Then Bengal tiger. Like that we have Sumatran tiger. Like that we have species diversity. Then ecosystem. You must have heard of Kas, that is in Satara, so that is one ecosystem. Or you have Nanda Devi, biosphere, or Uti. So all these have different diversity. So ecosystem as a whole. Then why biodiversity is very important? Because it is like a thermometer. It measures the health of the life on the earth. See now whatever we are feeling, the temperature. So I will give what is the condition of temperature 100 years back. I have got information, old records. What was the views of forester 120 years back? That time also same condition, whatever we are talking, I have a record. Then it is a fundamental of functioning of ecosystems. For example, bees. If there are no bees, no pollination. Or predators. Suppose there are no predators, then the herbivore will increase. What you hear in central Maharashtra, black bucks. Lot of herbivores because there is no predator.
There is no carnivore, so the herbivore populations increase.
So basically, the functioning of ecosystem. Then also benefits to humans.
Ultimately, it's in terms of food, or medicines, or herbs, etc., etc.
And what can endanger? I did not have to tell this. Everybody knows this. Then what are the practices? How do we preserve that? This, national parks, reserves, fighting deforestation, pollution.
Then these agriculture practices. All agriculture practices are mostly negative. It is not sustainable because you have to apply pesticide, you have to apply fertilizer. So thereby you are damaging the soil. So it is accepted because I attended one soil seminar in NBSSLUP. So this was also one of the big issues which was being discussed. How to improve the soil ecosystem.
So soil factor, then of course the use of timber. And it's very interesting. We may be knowing, how many species?
4 to 100 billion species we may be knowing about.
It is said it is only a fraction. We know only about 1.5 to 1.8 billion species.
So the scope is huge. So I think we should, and what is happening is people are not interested towards botany and zoology. So we should tell them you have a big scope. Unless they are told, because our mentality is that our degree should lead to jobs. It will also lead to job. Not that it will not lead to job.
And look at this, very threatening. An average of 50 living species
Disappear every 24 hours.
So for every hour, how much then? 2 species.
So species getting
managed. So in the year 2010, the United Nations Convention on Biological Diversity decided that
20 targets
to reduce the loss of biodiversity. And it is said even after 10 years later, none of this has been achieved.
So targets are very ambitious, but we are not able to achieve the targets.
So coming to our
Be a part of the plan. What is that plan?
so in that Montreal conference, these 3 things were accepted. That by 2030,
We should protect 30% of our lands, oceans,
then 30% of coastal areas
and inland waters, of course. So that is the important, and we all are dedicated to water. I think you should also be part of the plan. It's very much there.
So let us do something for that. Then reducing government subsidies.
Subsidies in terms, either maybe fertilizer or pesticide, all those things.
So this is
Also one of the part of the plan, reducing the subsidies.
damaging the environment. Then reducing the food waste.
And minimizing the impact of climate change. Then of course, all these things, climate funds, all those allocation, the European countries, because they are more affected than the tropical situations. So they want to fund $20 billion every year for protection and promotion.
And then network of protected areas.
As I said, reducing pesticides by 50%.
So which are the places which are the high risk of their biodiversity hotspots?
Which are, because we have the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve and Nanda Devi Biosphere Reserve.
So these are the
That's where they have been displayed.
and because
They are also home to the endemic species.
so how do you declare area as hotspot?
Biodiversity hotspot.
It should have at least 1500 endemic species. Then that area is declared as area of biodiversity hotspot and must have lost at least 70% of its original habitat. So there are 36 hotspots
Across the continents.
and what are the measures that have been done? There are some examples. In South Africa, they installed
acoustic deterrent sensors so that they can create a barrier to protect the bats, prevent them from flying too close to the wind turbines. So I think such measures, we should also think of that. This is the participation of the industry. So the they came out with acoustic deterrent sensors so that bats should not go near the windmills. This is one example. And then an NGO, in Italy, they launched a program called Biodiversity for Young. And this was focusing on protection and enhancement, and also for skills and orientation for the high school students, raising awareness. In India, I think Nagpur, we have that example with highway, which goes to Page, which has that elevated highway. That's the only, discussed everywhere. But I don't see any other example where we have done anything for the biodiversity. I don't know if you have, you can share with us so that we can also, talk about it. There's a third one. In Spain, they have created an island where 25 species of birds are protected. And that we use, and it is, there are solar farms. Cultivation of species is replaced with aromatic plants. So now there is a thinking that in and around forest area, instead of cultivating the regular crop, for example cotton, then harbara, why not go for these aromatic plants? This thinking is also coming in our country so that the herbivores, they don't come because they will not forage on this. So this thinking is going on. I think only Karnataka they are trying this. So this is yet to spread throughout the country. This is a 980. It's around 1880 or 1860 record. So there was a forester. So what he's talking about is, this is his observation. There's a place called Ballari. Everybody must be knowing Ballari. So he was staying in this place, and when he was staying in the year. I arrived in Ballari in 1856. The hills were then covered with good jungle, etc. etc. The mango showers were usually very heavy. The heavy rainfall was then 45 inches. The climate was good. This is Chitradurg actually. It was monsoon, the cold weather was quite cold enough to make fires, campfires necessary. And though the elevation is not more than 1300 feet, the water supply etc. This was his observation in 1856. And what happens? In 1856 to 1864, when I left Ballari district and did not visit again in 1879, I guess he visited in 1879. And what he found? I found everything changed. The jungle has been almost destroyed. So it is not just we think that these days jungles are being destroyed. No. This has been happening. So the rainfall is precarious. Earlier what he told, rainfall is good. Not so much as 24 inches in the year. Tank is not filled for the last 3 years. And it's generally 10 to feet, 12 feet below full tank level. The springs are almost dry. Between Mundi and the belt, the climate is so changed that in the cold weather it is hardly necessary to shut the doors and windows. Otherwise, he was telling we should sit by fire. Imagine in a period of 20 years, 1856 to 1879. These were the changes he has observed. The main feeder of the Daroji tank, there's a place called Daroji Sanctuary, now it has become Bear Sanctuary in Ballari. Dries up altogether by the end of February and all is no water in there. So, yes, there are changes is taking place. Then there is one more. It's very interesting. The executive engineer who constructed the road, this is the case of Melghat. The road passing through the forest and the road outside the forest. He built a road which was passing through the forest. A part of that in the forest and a part of that outside forest. So what does he write? So he writes that who constructed the road regarding the effect of protection from flood during the late heavy rain, 4 inches in 24 hours. Beginning of 1897, I had 4 bridges in construction in Bairagar Reserve and LH4 Pindi. This Melghat. The foundations of these bridges were not finished and I expected much damage to them by early days. But much to my surprise, I found that when the rain was finished, none of the nala over these bridges are being constructed had been in flood and no damage had been done to the foundations.
And in the unpreserved forest between Siraswan and LH2, all the nalas had been interrupted. So what he is attributing is because of the leaves, the bridge which he had constructed in the forest, that is not washed away. And I attribute the escape of foundation bridges in the reserve to the rain having been absorbed by old fallen leaves and grass, thus showing the protective power of the forest to bridges in certain areas.
So there are records, indicating the role of forest and the role of winter. So we should appreciate this. So what was the important? This is there. If you go through the old records, there's a beautiful Gokhale Institute of Politics and Economics. They have very good digital library. So I keep browsing that. You get records of 1800, 1700. Beautiful. They have stored in their digital library. Very nice to read that. So from there I retrieved this.
Yeah. You get the population density. This is in 1898 per kilometer.
Here I think because of light.
So here it is increasing. In 2024,
The population density is more compared to the population density in 1898. So this is also one of the factors. And I don't know, because I wanted to show you this Tasmanian tiger. The last Tasmanian tiger video is there. They have made efforts, and there is another resurrecting the extinct tiger using modern biotechnology tools. They want to bring back they have found RNA, and through that using the modern tools they want to bring back. So I would like to end my talk here, and thank you everyone for listening. And if you have anything to ask, please. Thank you.
Hello sir, good evening. A very nice presentation from your side. I would like to ask one question. As you said that, and everyone knows that there are so many threats to the biodiversity like pollution, population increment, and urbanization, and so on and so on. One of the major issue for the threat to biodiversity is invasive species. You know very well, everyone is known species Parthenium and Icornia cruspes. इसको हम लोग अभी पूरा गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया पूरा वर्ल्ड इरेडिकेट करने के पीछे लगा है. I know, and there is a quarantine law for that particular thing also. I would like to ask one question from. I want to know from your side that government of Maharashtra or forest department has any special laws like quarantine laws to stop such type of invasion in Maharashtra or in India.
Nice question. We have not worked much on the status of impact of invasive species. That is what you want. One thing is, for example, we have a lot of this lantana. The biggest problem is male guard again. But then, in wildlife areas, you cannot remove the lantana because it is a part of biodiversity. The wildlifers, they say that it's a part of biodiversity. Yes, I also agree. It's a part of biodiversity, but it is harming the system.
Yes.
So it's I arranged a talk because I worked in a research institute. So we had come out with pellets of lantana, pellets and briquettes. So I thought when I came back from Bangalore in 2019, I arranged a talk by all the people, those who are interested, to remove lantana free of cost. Nobody will come to remove free of cost. So he'll engage his machine, he'll remove the lantana, bring it outside. He will convert whatever he wants. He'll pay some royalty. But then again, it will take time, mindset.
Yes.
Because see, again the problem is, say there may be some research papers. So
Yes.
our school of thought. I think मैंने बात की हमने achieve कर लिया वो. So it's a mindset again. The wildlifers, they think no, we should not remove. There is a technique called, I think some Babu technique. Some botanist from Delhi University, Dr. Babu. So he has come out with a technique. You take out the lantana and invert it. But what do? You are not removing lantana.
No, it is
The
just
seeds fall down again, they spread. No, that is advocated. So now because you are a botanist.
what I think it is just brushing the dust under the carpet. उससे कुछ
मैं एग्री. पर अभी क्या होता है, हम लोग को डिसीजन नहीं ले सकते. साइंटिफिक डेटा चाहिए. हमको किसी ने पेपर पकड़ा दिया, उसमें लिखा था कि भाई आप उगाड़ो और उल्टा टांग दो उसको. and that is named as I think बाबू टेक्निक कुछ है उसका, आप देखिए बॉटनी से आपको मालूम है।
Yes.
अभी हमारे क्योंकि people can go to court, तो कोर्ट बोलेगी आपने क्या किया, हम बोलेंगे नहीं हमने बाबू टेक्निक यूज़ किया, ठीक है। तो आई थिंक what your point is valid कि somewhere we have to think of removing this.
Exactly.
So this has been done in Bandipur. When we suggested it Bandipur, they removed lantana free of cost, and the tigers started coming. Because what happened is herbivores, they want free path for movement. Because they were not available there, tigers were also not available there. Wherever lantana was there. Because the deers cannot run in bushes,
Yes.
lantana. So deers were not seen. The moment they removed this lantana, tigers were visible. The fellow was removing, he showed I will not remove lantana. The driver, he was from city. He was refusing to go back to home. बोला मैं नहीं आऊँगा, टाइगर दिख रहा है. So tigers started appearing. So that matter went to court.
Okay.
Half the people in department they were against that. I am telling you this is the truth. Karnataka Forest Department, half the people they through NGO they went to court. Then court told no they should remove lantana. There was a court order. So I think first of all there should be discussion.
Exactly.
So the point you raised is very valid. We are not thinking anything about
We
investing.
all have to think about that because right now there are so many research work and NGOs are working on the iconic aspects, irradiation, removal और उसके बहुत सारे प्रोडक्ट भी बनना तैयार हुए हैं। तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि इस टेक्निक को और भी वाइड स्केल पे ले जाना चाहिए ताकि इरेडिएशन भी हो, वाइल्ड लाइफ को प्रॉब्लम भी ना हो और हम लोगों का जो इन्वेजिव स्पीशीज का बहुत ज़्यादा आना है जिससे बायोडाइवर्सिटी लॉस हो रहा है उस पर भी हम लोग कुछ लोग बता सकें।
दूसरा आपने जैसे कहा अभी हमारे पास कैसे इशू आ गया कि भाई यहाँ पे इराडिकेशन जैसे आइकॉनिया है, तो हम लोग क्या करते हैं, ठीक है कौन है इसका एक्सपर्ट, आपको लिखेंगे बॉटनी डिपार्टमेंट या फिर निधि को लिख देंगे, तो आप जो सोल्यूशन देंगे वो करते हैं। तो थोड़ा ये आपके हाथ में है, तो मिलके काम करते हैं।
जरूर सर, आई विल बी हैप्पी टू वर्क विद यू।
वी कैन कम आउट विद अ सोल्यूशन।
थैंक यू।
थैंक यू।
Sir, good evening. Good evening. Excellent presentation. I have very simple questions, sir. I have two questions. Biodiversity and because as we know we are one of the species on the earth, and perhaps human एक ऐसा species है कि जिसने पूरे world पे कब्जा किया है. Which COVID has given a reset. COVID ने थोड़ा सा हमको correction दिया हमारे thought process में. So the question is, of course, this should sustain, but at the same time, progress also should happen. So how to strike a balance between the progress and maintaining biodiversity? That is my question number one. And question number two, what is your message for a common man? What they should follow? I mean, laws of nature, what they should follow for a common man? Maybe four or three or 4 points. What is as per you? Sorry.
हाँ ये तो मुझे मोस्ट आस्क क्वेश्चन जैसे FAQ रहता है ना वैसे तो फ्रीक्वेंटली आस्क क्वेश्चंस तो व्हाट इट इज नथिंग बट आवर प्रैक्टिस इट बिकॉज सी अर्लियर डेज इफ यू गो टू मार्केट वी यूज्ड टू कैरी दोस क्लॉथ बैग्स आई स्टिल रिमेंबर व्हेन आई यूज्ड टू गो विद द पेरेंट्स टू वेजिटेबल शॉप और even to buy rice or anything we used to go with cloth bag. But now if you go to market, if you go to a super stores, you will say अरे बैग आएगा काय कसं काय एवढं मोठं दुकान आहे बॅग नाही तुमच्याकडे and we start demanding to that. It is nothing but practice. So and we feel कि अभी तो हम बड़े लोग हो गए बैग कैसे कैरी करेंगे. But we always I keep one cloth bag in my car one scooter. So we never वो पूछता है the shop fellow will ask सर बैग पाइएगा नहीं बोलता है. So it is practice. Without practice you cannot do anything. Another thing, there is a very wrong concept thinking that if you don't use you should not use biological resource. See, biological resource except for the endemic species, it is a renewable resource. You can once you plant, you keep on it grows. Whereas a mineral, it is not like that. Once you remove, it's gone forever. So we should also promote the use of biological, for example, wood. Wood is such an item, it keeps growing and also it captures carbon and it, there is a carbon sequestration and the wood is very good to look ambience. Suppose this building was the whole wall everything was fitted with wood, how it would have looked, ambience is good, isn't it? Then of course your mind also will be behave in a different manner. So we should start using the biological resource but not in a destructive manner. It's a practice. So we have the PWD one fine day they declared no more wood in the building. Now we have all metallic frames. But again we are coming back. That is through plywood, because plywood it saves the wood. Not only saves the wood, you did not have to wait 70, 80 years for the wood furniture. Even a 1-year-old plantation in Bangalore, there is an associate decor factory, 1-year-old eucalyptus plantation. They are preparing plywood. I don't know how many of you know. Not plywood, MDF. 1-year-old, you do not have to wait 10 years or 20 years. There's agroforestry and plantation, our forest department 9900 years. But you have 1 year also technology. The second thing is we have to develop technology. If you have technology, then you are in a practice. I think we can minimize. We cannot do away with it. So that's why when I, in the year 2014 or 15, it was for PhD need to register for some courses. So we had this course on sustainable development. Everybody talks about sustainable, but they introduce a new term called sustainability. It is not sustainable development. It should be sustainability. Because the resource, and again you will be surprised, this was again coined by Karl Marx. We think Karl Marx means communist, leftist, extremist and all. But we were surprised, that environmental economics course. So it is the buzzword now is sustainability, not sustainable development. That's an old word. Because people don't know about sustainability, I need to introduce that. So it should be sustainability. In sustainable development, you always keep talking, isn't it? For the future generation, for the future. अभी का क्या करोगे? Every time we talk, the future generation के लिए हमको बचाना है. We don't know what the future generation will be using, isn't it? अभी तो बहुत से paper cups आ गए. Did we think about paper cups 20 years back? So it is nothing but technology. That's what I mean.
conservation of local biodiversity.
ये जो आप लोग बता रहे हैं ना, हमारे इधर क्या होता है, कोई भी नया आइडिया आपको लगता है कि पूरा वो गाँव के लोग करने वाले. फर्स्ट वी शुड अंडरस्टैंड कि क्या है कॉन्सेप्ट. गाँव वाले को सब मालूम है, आप पूरा जाके उसको थोप देंगे, उसको क्या क्या करना है. आपका बायोडाइवर्सिटी भी कंजर्वेशन करना है, फिर वाटर डिपार्टमेंट आके बोलते हैं हमारा वाटर भी कंजर्व करो, फिर दूसरा कोई डिपार्टमेंट हेल्थ वाले बोलते हैं जरा हेल्थ के बारे में सोचो. तो थोड़ा जब तक आप उनकी कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग नहीं करेंगे, रजिस्टर तो हो गया बन गया, हमारे 28,000 रजिस्टर्स हैं स्टेट में. दैट 28,000 ऑड PMCs आते हैं, बायोडाइवर्सिटी मैनेजमेंट कमिटीज, एंड ऑल्सो वी हैव रजिस्टर्स. अब है सब कुछ है उसमें. हाउ मेनी ऑफ देम आर अवेयर कि उनके मुझे सराउंडिंग्स में कितना रिसोर्स है. नोबडी, दे मे नॉट बी अवेयर, बिकॉज दिस वाज स्टैट्यूटरी. आया था उसमें था एक्ट में कि हर एक गाँव में रजिस्टर बनाना है, बना दिया हमने. म्यूनसिपालिटी में है तो किसी को मालूम. फॉर एग्जाम्पल नागपुर का, अभी डेफोरेस्टेड सेम थिंग वी वर डिस्कसिंग विद कमिश्नर कि यहाँ का बायोडाइवर्सिटी इंडेक्स कितना है. पेड़ तो है नागपुर में, ऐसा नहीं है कि ग्रीन है. नागपुर इज ग्रीन, तो व्हाट इज द इंडेक्स कि पर कैपिटा कितने हैं, पर मालूम नहीं है. मालूम है तो आप बताइए. अगर इसलिए आई डोंट थिंक किया है स्टडी, आई डोंट थिंक वी हैव डन एनी स्टडी. तो ये जो छोटी छोटी चीज़ें ये करना जरूरी है. एंड सबसे पहले कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग.
हमने DPR तो बना ली है, पर उसकी ऑथेंटिसिटी, मतलब मैंने बहुत सारे DPR देखे हैं कि जो ऑलमोस्ट कॉपी पेस्ट है, और उसके अलावा तो सही में वो बायोडाइवर्सिटी कंजर्वेशन में उसका कोई रोल है
नहीं. वही बता रहा हूँ ना आपको कि क्या उद्देश्य था आपका. आपने सुना नहीं, कोई नहीं बताएगा मेरी तरह कि नॉर्थ एंड साउथ का ये था. नॉर्थ वांटेड रिसोर्स फ्रॉम द साउथ ऑफिशियली. पहले सुना होगा आपने 20 साल पहले कि नॉर्थ ईस्ट से वो बटरफ्लाई चोरी किया, नॉर्थ ईस्ट से मॉथ चोरी किए, ऑर्किड चोरी किया. अभी कहीं सुना है क्या? अभी ऑफिशियली जाता है ना, यू राइट टू द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, यू टेक द परमिशन. पहले नहीं ले जा सकते थे आप. अभी मेरे पास है कहीं का तो है, ही वांट्स टू पेरिस या इटली कहीं तो उसको स्टडी करने के लिए बैक्टीरिया. अभी एक लेटर आया है, लेटर कोई यूनिवर्सिटी का, परमिशन दीजिए करके. वो लिखा है नॉन कमर्शियल. अब मेरे को क्या मिला, एक बार पहुँच गया तो कमर्शियल ही करेगा ना, वो कोई नॉन कमर्शियल नहीं होगा. दैट आई नो इट, बट आई कैनॉट राइट इट. ठीक है, तो दिस इज ऑफिशियल. कहीं मत बताइए पेपर में नहीं का, नहीं तो वो कॉन्ट्रोवर्सी हो जाएगा. ठीक है, दिस तो इसीलिए जो है ना बायोडाइवर्सिटी रजिस्टर अच्छा है, आइडिया अच्छा है, पर जब तक कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग नहीं करेंगे तब तक कुछ नहीं होगा। अभी देखिए GI, the maximum GI is Tamil Nadu, 50% of country's GI is Tamil Nadu. How big is Tamil Nadu compared to Maharashtra? Do you think अपने पास नहीं है यूनिक ये प्रोडक्ट्स? अपने पास मैंगो के बहुत से वैराइटीज़ हैं, राइस के वैराइटी, राइट फ्रॉम भंडारा टू गढ़चुकी, फिर वेजिटेबल्स, तो बहुत है ना अपने पास। तो वी हैव टू मेक ए बिग डील। तो कोशिश करते हैं अभी कितना मैं कर सकता हूँ, ये भी मेरे पास एडिशनल चार्ज है, फिर भी कोशिश तो मैंने सोचा है कि कुछ एक 10 तो GI शुरू करते हैं, आप लोग की तो साइड है, वो इसलिए मैंने बोला आपको शुरू करना पड़ेगा। आई शुड नॉट वेट फॉर अदर्स।
गुड इवनिंग सर। बायोडाइवर्सिटी कंजर्वेशन के लिए इन इंडिया वी हैव रिसेंटली बॉट 2 years back 20 cheetahs. 20 cheetahs. It was extinct from India in 1952. But we have brought approximately 20 cheetahs in batches of 2 from Namibia and South Africa. But after bringing them there, within 5 months, approximately 7 cheetahs, adult and 3 cubs have died. So, आपका इसमें क्या विचार है सर कि उनको लाना, उनके नेचुरल हैबिटेट से यहाँ शिफ्ट करना कूनो नेशनल पार्क में, was it the right decision or what is your point?
ये अभी आपको, because I'm not a wildlife expert, so don't quote me. But from a biodiversity point of view, because they were reintroduced, they were already there cheetah in those areas. So they were reintroduced. I don't know what are the reasons. Because they may be from captivity. They may not be wild. That's what my friends say. They got it from the captivity. They were in the park, not a typical forest, like our panthers. जो अपना ये है ना leopard. They are free घूमते रहते हैं. ये वैसे नहीं. ये they are from I don't know. So I don't know their feeding habit. But we wanted to reintroduce. अपना already था वो चीता एरिया, ऐसा नहीं कि चीता नहीं था. That was a cheetah region. It was reintroduced. और उसमें क्या हुआ, because I'm not in the cheetah project. I asked my batchmate, now he's gone back to Kerala. Because he was in NTC, I could not ask, he will not tell me. But now he's gone back to Kerala. He was in charge of that. You have seen Poacher? Poacher देखा है क्या वेब सीरीज? Poacher नहीं देखा है? You should see that. उसमें जो हीरो है मेरा बैचमेट है, एक ऐसे पूछे बैनर्जी करके उसका नाम है उसमें, बट ही इज़ अमित मलिक. ही वॉज नेशनल टाइगर NTCA का वो मेंबर सेक्रेटरी था, बट इज़ रिटायरिंग इन अंडर 2 months. तो तनख्वाह के लिए वापस केरला जाना पड़ा उसको. सैलरी इज नॉट गिवन फ्रॉम, सो इज गॉन बैक. आई आस्क हिम, बट ही इज इन दैट पोचर. तो आई आस्क हिम व्हाट, बिकॉज ही वाज इन्वॉल्वड इन द ट्रांसलोकेशन ऑफ चीता फ्रॉम अफ्रीका टू इंडिया, बट रीइंट्रोडक्शन इनटू वाइल्ड. क्योंकि देयर आर सी इन सिटू कंजर्वेशन एंड एक्स सिटू कंजर्वेशन. एक तो जगह पे आप कंजर्व बांधवगढ़, देयर वर नो टाइगर्स वंस अपॉन अ टाइम. दे इंट्रोड्यूस द टाइगर एंड दे हैव कम बैक. सो देयर मे बी मेनी रीजन. अब होता ही है क्रिटिसिज्म आजकल क्या है, इतना क्या बोलते हैं मीडिया, कहीं भी बटन दबाया था आपके इसमें मैसेज आ जाता है. पहले ऐसा नहीं था, टाइम लगता था मैसेज देने में, अभी तुरंत आ जाता है. वहाँ उसे नोट भी नहीं किया कि आपके मोबाइल में मैसेज आ जाता है ना. कम्युनिकेशन इतना फास्ट हो गया है तो आंसर देना मुश्किल हो जाता है. ठीक है, और कुछ? अच्छा, by the way, one sandal species is extinct. That is in Argentina. So that is no more. तो सैंडल में भी एक्सटेंड हो गया, क्योंकि मेरा फेवरेट सब्जेक्ट है सैंडल. नेक्स्ट टाइम विल टॉक अबाउट सैंडल. थैंक यू.
I request all the dignitaries to occupy their seats on the dais. Yes, Tisha, please stand. Yes.
This is the last ship Tasmanian sighted in 1935. This zoo. You see on the net, the last affected captivity. It is no more now, it is extinct. But they are reworking on this using biotechnology tools. 1935 का वीडियो. Next take और वीडियो. How the restoration is going on. So they have developed an embryo and all. They thought that this Tasmanian tiger is killing cat something, and they were given prizes also to shoot this animal. But it was found that the mouth is not meant for killing them. So poor human, I told you, because of human. So this got the last was the zoo. You can see this on the net. This whole thing is. Thank you.
Thank you, Rao sir, for such an informative and thought-provoking lecture. Let us start practicing measures suggested by Rao sir at an individual level. I now request Shri N.M. Bagre sir, immediate past chairman of Nagpur Centre, to offer memento to Shri Rao sir as a token of love and affection. Thank you, sir. Moving towards the end of program, it is our duty to acknowledge the efforts of those who work hard to organize this program. I request Dr. Isha Khedekar, Honorary Secretary of Nagpur Centre, to present formal vote of thanks. Dr. Isha.
Good evening to one and all. It's my proud privilege to propose the vote of thanks on the occasion of World Biodiversity Day. At the outset, on the behalf of IWWA and my personal behalf, I, Dr. Isha Khedekar, Secretary, would like to express my sincere gratitude towards today's eminent speaker, Mr. M. Shriram, IFS Principal Chief Conservator of Forest Department, Member Secretary, Maharashtra State Biodiversity Board, Nagpur, for accepting our invitation and sparing his valuable time for us. He discussed on the theme World Biodiversity Day, be a part of plan, call to action to reverse the loss of biodiversity. Thank you, sir, for sharing your life journey, vast experience, knowledge and good suggestion with us. Thank you, sir. My sincere thanks to our respected chairman, Dr. O.N. Mukherjee sir, Engineer N.M. Bagre sir, Vice Chairman of IWWA, Dr. P.K. Jain sir, Vice Chairman of IWWA, for their gracious presence and also inspiring us to host this program. I am also thankful to Dr. Kalpana Bhole Madam, who coordinated this event. I am also thankful to all executive body members for their auspicious presence. I am also thankful to Megha for taking the responsibility of recording of the lecture program, and